Well, this is a first. Hello everyone, how are you doing? As the title says, today is actually a quote-unquote filler episode instead of the plot advancing forward. Because as much as it isn't exactly for me to do reactions and stuff like this was just something I couldn't pass up because, while technically I'm not exactly going into this completely blind. What little I actually have seen is, let's just say that's something I cannot just let pass without a word or two from me. So this will be a sort of react and rant stream as well, considering that the whole thing is like 2.5 hours long, so I will get into it a little bit about the topic. So, as the title suggests, it's about the original video is about the loneliness in the Vtuber community by 3 somewhat moderately known Vtubers, but from what I can tell they are just lost, so unfortunately they are the kind of people that I have to deal with for the most part during the day-to-day life. So let's actually, with that said, I'm actually going to get started. So let's see. Actually, let's skip by the intro. Up and skip. Considering that this part is okay. Wasn't this quiet? Oh well. I suppose while they are talking I'm gonna lower the volume on this one a little bit and talk about the thing that they are putting up already. So the TLDR, that they don't consider any of the people they friend with real friends. My reaction with the TLDR is about that no wonder you are lonely if you are looking at the wrong place. And how do you find yourself a real friend? Well, VTubing is certainly not the answer for that.
Hi everyone! I totally wasn't spacing out making sure to Hi and welcome! I'm here with Abby and Connie, and we're here to talk with all of you about loneliness.
Damn, they are really quiet.
Hi! I have a weird limiter on my mic, but I will be trying to fix this throughout. I am Abby Cadabra. I am going to be co-hosting here with Mari Yue today. Your emotional support dog and definitely not a murderer.
Okay, maybe I shouldn't skip this part.
Well, don't worry, we are too. And then, honey, would you care to introduce yourself and tell us more about what you're going to help us with today? Yeah, of course. Hi, my name's Hanneken. I'm your emotional support dog and definitely not a murderer.
Yeah, I wonder how much that plays into her online character, that she's definitely not a murderer. I'm not exactly convinced that she's not a lost.
I am with Kyle Entertainment. I stream mental health content on YouTube and then whatever I kind of want on Twitch because I have ADHD and I can't focus on one thing for too long. Oh my gosh. ADHD or commitment issues, we'll never know. So today we're going to be talking about loneliness. I feel like it's been like a huge, like common thing that people have been dealing with, especially after the thing that shall not be mentioned on YouTube.
You mean COVID?
I'm sorry. Oh, what? No, you're totally fine. I wasn't laughing at what
I mean, considering that the real world plague was quite convenient for the agents to start their madness spreading.
Okay. What shall we call the thing that shall not be named? What can I say that in a way that is YouTube friendly?
I mean, you can just call it the plague.
How would we just call it redacted? Redacted, love it. Okay, so I feel like
oh boy,
there was like people have been dealing with loneliness and connecting with others
So I want to preface this that actually the topic of loneliness itself is not exactly something I'm rather hostile thing. It is a very real thing, and I'm not mocking those that want to actually find a cure to loneliness. But VTubing is definitely not the answer to this. This wasn't made to be actually for you guys to look for friends. VTubing was made for the sole purpose of actually entertaining people by playing a character. Like, I'm not real. Everything that I've told in the past streams, you'd have to be pretty fucking delusional to actually believe that what I told was actually what was applying to my real world voice actor. Like, my voice actor was not an Eldritch Herald, he wasn't responsible for millions of deaths, he didn't turn accidentally himself into an Earth Elemental, and he's certainly not getting exiled in a month. So, if you want to be yourself, then there's plenty of options. VTubing wasn't made about that, so that socially anxious let me rephrase that, people can find friends. The longer you are going to deny that, the longer you are going to be lonely. Because this wasn't meant for finding friends. So, upon the options, do I change myself? Well, that's not necessary. Change where I'm looking? Definitely. Leave the internet? That's definitely a good idea. Become the baby? I have even no idea what that means, so can't help you with that.
But I feel like the redacted brought it to a whole nother level, and I feel like, well, for my sake, it's been harder to get back into communication with people and get back into like making those relationships after redacted happened, because I was so used to just being alone and isolated.
Can you guys hear me better now?
Not really.
Stream is it better now? I'm still looking pretty quiet, but we will fix this as we go.
No, it's good on stream.
Okay. As long as it looks good on stream, I'm gonna make this a little easier. Okay. Great. Rough stuff, but this is what we're all about. We're about honesty and.
I gotta turn up the volume a bit.
My true self is scuffed, so I did not want to deny you that privilege.
Without scuffed anyways.
I can hear like really weird right? There's like a bunch of background noise. I don't freaking know. That's your problem, not mine, chat.
Chat needs to clean their ears anyways, so it doesn't matter.
Yeah, they should totally just let us.
I really hope that they're gonna have some more insights.
Like, this stream was about accepting yourself, and Abby has to just accept that she sounds like she's in a giant room with no furniture, and that's okay.
Is that what it sounds like?
No, you sound like you're in a laundry room, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, Abs, I had to.
Wait, why do I sound like I'm in a laundry room?
It's the whooshing for me.
There's whooshing? There's no whooshing here. The mic is literally making up noises that don't exist. I'm in a completely quiet room.
Is it just because I'm fairly quiet? But how was I supposed to hear anything?
It's okay, Abby. It's okay.
Crazy. I was crazy once. They put me in a room. Pink-haired anime girl.
And her name was Abby.
Her name was Abby.
Oh my lord. Okay, well that's
Too bad I can't skip ahead now.
What to say? Oh my gosh, I'm literally crying. Well, whatever. Okay, but today we are here not to talk about my mic quality, or oh gosh, I can't stop thinking about my mic quality. I'm crying.
Get on with it.
Okay.
What is this, a quiz show where you have to keep people in suspense?
You want me to make you feel better about your mic quality?
Yeah.
I streamed for an entire year with my microphone backwards.
Oh, that's right! Oh my gosh, you mentioned that before! Yeah! So hi everybody, welcome to the show where you watch three beautiful and amazing anime girls.
What else is new? I mean, VTubers are all designed to be pretty, or at least had the intention, so how is that supposed to be a compliment?
Have a mental. No, I was kidding. Talk about mental health. And today's topic is loneliness in the VTubing community.
Again, it's rocking at the wrong place. You're not going to find people, right? Or if you do, you're really not going to be. After all, online friendships seldom last long, so there's always some drama that stirs up. After all, we are inherently looking at anime people. We are not looking at real people. Like, why do you expect people that embrace anonymity for, like, that they don't have to watch out for people's opinions to either be... where was I going with this? So either care about okay, I'm a little bit scatterbrained in this time. So either that you are looking at people that are literally using a face that's not themselves, or because they get bold that they can quote unquote escape responsibilities, they can be the most vile selves. Like, oh, I can hear future viewers and critics say that, oh, I'm doing it right now. Like this. So, like, I really don't know why they are expecting that they are supposed to find friends here.
I agree with Zenith. Your mic quality gives a nice vibe that claps.
Yeah, don't worry about it.
We still don't know about the mic.
You sound fine. Like, don't worry. Like, chat needs to relax. You're fine.
No, chat's actually being pretty chill. Okay, but today we're not talking about me and my problems, which are plentiful.
Finally.
You and your problems, which are probably less voluminous, less in quantity. Or maybe they're worse. I don't invalidate you. But we thought this would be a very good topic to address. We see a lot of people on X, that's the correct name, and different platforms. I'm crying. Serious.
Biblically accurate name of Twitter. That makes me very uncomfortable.
The X Twitter. Get it?
Oh, okay, that's fine.
It's X Twitter.
Get on with it already.
Anyways, yes, we had asked a bunch of you. Are you okay, Abby?
We see people talking about feeling lonely all the time.
I'm really tempted to skip ahead 5 minutes.
People out.
So breathe, Abby, breathe.
Oh boy. Okay, I'm gonna skip ahead a minute.
We decided
some of these questions and answer them with Honey, as well as, doing a little fun, I guess, quote-unquote game where we'll have like different...
Also, I do wonder if she is an actual mental health specialist or she's just pretending to be one.
Some questions, and you'll be able to participate in that chat, so stay forward to that later on. But first, we kind of want to like talk to Honey about kind of like her VTubing experience, especially like not just with loneliness, but kind of like in general, like a little bit about her. So, Honey, do you mind like talking a little bit about us with your experience in VTubing and kind of like what you might have observed with others when it comes to like being lonely around here?
I feel like you yourself actually made a really good point about loneliness and like content creation. In that, like, I think you had mentioned how a lot of people seek out content and seek out watching people like VTubers, especially where they're having fun with other friends and stuff because of loneliness. That is a big motivator for content, right? And I feel like so a lot of people feel
I mean, technically, I can't deny that there are people that does that for that reason, but I don't know about you, but I'm generally seeking out content because I want to be either educated or entertained. I'm not looking to make friends through content creation. If I want to make friends, I'll go outside, which isn't exactly a lot to say considering that I'm not real, but you know, I'm pretty sure that applies to my voice actor as well. Like, if you are expecting to find friends by watching VTubers, yeah, it's not exactly a good idea.
the loneliness and want to get those connections, but it's much easier just to watch other people with those connections and watching that to like kind of feel like you're kind of still have making those connections. I'm sorry, my words are not coming out properly right now.
I mean, okay, to be fair, COVID wasn't exactly helpful in you guys' case, but that time is over. And yeah, people were mostly bored because they were stuck with their families. They weren't exactly lonely, they just didn't have much else to do. Because apart from work apart from work, they didn't have much to do because of, you know, social distancing and lockdown. So yeah, there were people that were alone in their apartments, and for them it was about easing their loneliness, but it was meant to be only temporary.
But
No, no, you're okay.
I've noticed that's a lot, and that's why I try to make my community something where we talk about mental health, and mental health's a normal thing to talk about because a lot of people go.
Again, I really gotta know if she's a professional because that might not lead to the best scenarios if, after all, so many VTubers are going on about it. Oh, I'm not your therapist, and technically neither am I, though I do listen to traumas at least once, as it is stated in my rules. But yeah, I'm not a therapist. I cannot really help you with solving it, so now that causes some kind of dissonance that, like, what do you need?
Through a lot and feel like they don't have a lot of people to share that with, or they feel like they struggle to make connections. And I know that like um especially with as a content creator, it's always a worry to be like the parasocial aspect of it. But I feel like it doesn't have to be um you making those connections. It's about you could be you just fostering that type of community for other people to make friendships and make their own in connections. Like for instance, my community will be in Discord and hanging out with each other, and I'm not even there. And they'll be doing stuff with each other. So I feel like
That's good.
if you could create
Those guys were meant to
what I
be.
want to do is like kind of create a place where people can find other people.
Like, the viewers who are helping each other out, those are a good thing. That's a good thing, I admit. That they can quote unquote help each other because they are on equal grounds. They are not in a viewer entertainer relationship, they are equal viewers. They are equals, they can meet up. Well, technically, in past sense, once COVID is over, which is now. So yeah, that they help each other is fine.
That with like-minded individuals to make connections with, as opposed to just watching. Because it's nothing wrong with watching content. I watch content all the time, and there's nothing wrong with doing that because you want to watch friends having fun. But we're human beings, right? And human beings have survived this long as a species by having connections. And so we're like Sims, right? And you know how Sims have that social bar?
The only thing I know is that my command thing gets deleted and I forget what I have to do all day. But yeah.
Oh, I actually remember this part. I think this is the part where I have actually turned in.
I know what you mean.
And I was promptly shut up.
That's a mood, or I do like cheats, motherload and stuff.
Me too. I used to do motherload. Sorry.
Repeatedly, nonstop.
Mm-hmm.
But I feel like I don't feel. I know humans need social connections and social interactions and social people that they can relate to.
Yeah, the thing about that is where they find it, where they are trying to find that connection.
Even if the reason why social anxiety is even anxiety is not because people don't care about making those connections. It's about being so nervous about how the other person's going to perceive you and them not like you. It's not about
right.
it's not that you don't want friends or connections, it's that you're scared of being rejected.
Yeah, social anxiety is a real thing, and it's something that you would need a therapy for, not a VTuber model. Because I do know for a fact that these guys are gonna go talk about their experience with loneliness as well, not just about their fans. Considering that I think that was the part I watched, and then when I considered writing that they do need therapy instead of a model, I was promptly timed out and banned. So yeah, I know, not exactly a good start, but at this point I'm sick and tired of this I do whatever I want attitude, that they don't respect the old standards that VTubing was founded on. They just rewrite it at their own convenience and then demand that they be heard and accepted. No, not happening. I am not supporting delusions.
100%. Yeah, that's actually how I feel. I have really bad social anxiety, so
Aforementioned, you need therapy, Mari.
what you just described really matches how I feel when it comes to talking to other like creators, even like my own.
Yeah, you are forgetting that this is an entertainment business. You might be friendly, but most people aren't there to look for friends. Because either, or at least they don't have the expectations that they want a friend, because either they are not looking to make a friend, or they know that this isn't what this is for.
Community members, I have a lot of anxiety talking to people because of like what you said. Like, I'm very afraid that I will say something that's just gonna offend someone.
Then you might as well not say anything at all. You might as well shouldn't have showed up. After all, if my voice actor was like that, I wouldn't exist. And I'm certainly not going to be holding back, considering that all I can do at this point is just move on, move on, move on. I'm not wanted anywhere. My world is lost because of people like you. The imagination, the fiction, it's gone. Replaced by you people that want nothing more than just a never-ending Halloween party where you are explaining your lore that ultimately doesn't matter, and then you get the guys wear a mask, and you get otherwise be yourselves. This wasn't what it was made for, and I am sick and tired of letting people you get away with this. I don't care if I'm gonna look like an asshole. I will stand by this.
Just for like opening my mouth, like, and that kind of makes me not want to talk to people most of the time.
Yeah, no.
No, I'm just so grateful that you're saying these things. I feel like you are articulating it very clearly and concisely, and I'm grateful because I feel like these are things that we all are like feeling, but
And I would have said this real time to their faces as well if they weren't so stuck up that, ooh, only positive things allowed. The VTuber community is now filled with these guys that demand nothing more than positivity. And any negative issue, instead of being approached in a mature way, well, this technically excluded, but this is just an echo chamber because people like me aren't allowed in there that would have a radically different opinion, just because I'm fed up with the way that they are shutting us out constantly. So yeah, it's kind of hard to stay nice when we are constantly driven away, just because we dare to have a different opinion.
We can't name, and then naming.
But if I can do it live, then I'll do it now.
Sense of understanding and like kind of power over it. So I'm delighted already from what you've shared.
Oh, thank you, thank you. Yeah, it was hard to get into the mindset after laughing so hard, so I was trying to get back into the groove. But yeah, so I feel like loneliness is a very common thing, especially in society. In our, I think it's always been a thing, but right now in our time, place and time, it's become a bigger issue, especially after Redacted. I feel like because we
Fair enough.
went an entire year without talking to people, and when you like go an entire year without playing an instrument or using skills, you kind of lose those skills. No, not completely, but you sometimes forget how to use them, and getting back into the groove of things can feel awkward or uncomfortable, and it could also just be hard to make connections in general. So I feel like talking about this and bringing awareness can make people feel less alone in feeling alone.
Yeah, I agree with that. It's like those things, it's hard at first, but once it becomes kind of a habit, there's like lower stakes.
Really? I mean, in the age of internet, we can talk with anyone we want. Just because we are moving from actual speech to text doesn't change that we are communicating. And I'm pretty sure that you don't need people to relearn how to speak. Otherwise, the communication skill is exactly the same as it was before. So I don't really see too much correlation here. Like, you've really gotta tell me how COVID actually managed to destroy people's communication skills. Just because they couldn't get out to actually talk to people. Like, COVID doesn't spread through the internet. If you are talking through Facebook, Twitter, whatever, you are still communicating. Your skills are one-to-one in spoken and written. So if you have no communication skills, it doesn't matter whether that's through text or speech. Unless you completely shut out everything, you are not going to lose any communication skills. Especially in today's age.
Do you want to talk through some of the questions we have?
Sorry, I ended up going off topic with my experience in the community. I'm so sorry.
I think that was a great intro to kind of like ease back into what today's episode's gonna be. Like, this is not a therapy session. We're just here to kind of talk about some topics that have, under like the shadows, where a lot of people have these ideas and these feelings just kind of stewed up, and like this is a moment for us to kind of like talk some of that with someone who is more like experienced in this kind of like talk. So that's what today's episode's about.
Yeah, so the legal disclaimer of we do not replace therapy. We encourage you to find therapy. Once I have a BetterHelp sponsorship, I will give you my code.
How about you take that advice yourselves?
So once I do, I will promote BetterHelp, but I don't yet, so I can't promote BetterHelp.
The worst thing is that these guys are the people that give out advice on how to be a VTuber.
And I'm not a therapist.
Yes, you need further licensing to
I'm sorry, what?
But yeah, we have a lot of questions that you guys sent over on Google Forms, on X, on YouTube, and we wanted to address some of them. I tried to pick ones.
So why exactly are we having a mental health issue if you're not even a licensed therapist? Oh boy.
And I changed the wording on some of them slightly to mix them together so we address as much today as possible. There are certain topics we might skim through, or the question that we might not have included. But that's because, Honey on her channel does a lot of these different segments. So you can always go on her channel to check out different streams.
Oh, wait, so that's supposed to be a Morrow?
But today we want to stick to loneliness because it is a pretty vast and dense and necessary topic. So if it goes a little bit out of that, if questions in chat, we can save them for a next segment with Mari and Honey and I, or just a segment on Honey's stream. But we have a couple of them. The first one that we have, I did write TLDR because I specifically summarized a pretty lengthy story. But it says, I'm surrounded by people who I'm friendly with, but none of them are my real friends, which I felt resonated.
Again, if neither of you are licensed therapists, then why in the hell are you guys giving out advice like you guys are? Especially since you guys need it yourselves.
Well with the VTubing space and just like, it's such a public space, right? We're meeting people, but how do you find a real friend? Do I change myself, change where I'm looking, leave the internet, become the baby? Help me if possible.
What is the baby?
You don't know who the baby is?
No.
It's
Okay, well this will turn into it will turn into the baby stream.
Please don't.
The baby's a rapper.
I actually read these
Aha.
before stream, and I didn't know what the baby was. So I was just gonna I spoke out loud. I did not mean to ask who the baby was. I was just gonna listen in on this and just be like, yeah, I totally know what this is about.
And see if you can piece through the baby. Oh, the baby has nothing to do with the question.
Okay.
But it is the answer.
Also, I'll give a disclaimer that I'll give a disclaimer that I translated this question from Portuguese because I didn't want my Brazilian viewers to feel excluded. So Brazilians, you're welcome. I was like,
Let's hope Google Translate didn't mess it up.
But do you have any thoughts on this specific topic, Honey? And Mari, feel free to add on.
Yeah, so I think it's a really good question where it's like I think it's something I definitely experienced in the VTuber world where you have all these I would say coworkers in a sense, right? Or acquaintances, but not actually genuinely close friendships and not people that you feel like you can run to if you have
In a work relationship that's quote-unquote ideal.
I've already watched Mari and I, we knew each other for a week. Don't say the thing. But I messaged you after 1 week of knowing you, and I was like, I'm struggling. Help.
Yeah.
But that
No, go ahead, honey. Go ahead.
No, I want to hear your side. I want to hear, then I'll do my side.
So
But I think-
Abby's right. That is how she contacted me. But here's the thing. I get a lot of messages that are like that from people and other creators and stuff. And that doesn't mean that I pick favorites on who I answer DMs from, but typically when people message me, I will kind of scrub through your social profile just to see if you are actually a content creator, because sometimes I get a lot of people who are this question where I see a lot of people who want to role play, I guess, but they're not content creators. So
Mari, if you're gonna get any of those people, send them my way. Trust me, I would love nothing more than to hang out with non-lost. Because, you can tell that I'm not myself. Well, my voice actor is not himself. I am a character, so I would love nothing more than to hang out with other fictional characters. So, I'm not exactly sure if you're gonna watch this, but if you meet any more of them, just send them my way. I'll be taking care of them very well.
I feel like watching my videos will usually help, but for Abby, she actually makes content, and so I was like, okay, I'll help her out, but I didn't consider her a friend at the time. I was like, sure, I'll give her some advice and stuff, and then she would just already. And then she would
Why is it a thing with VTubers that the moment they contact someone, they immediately consider them their friends? People, please stop assuming this. How fucking socially inept are you? The worst thing is that I had a run-in with that one of those things. Like, back when I wasn't exactly contracting with fourth wall madness, I was trying to contact other people, but I tried to hang out with one or two people, but one person in particular I've hanged out with like twice. And then when they did something that I didn't like, and I voiced out that I really would like not them to, I warned them of the consequences of what I'm not gonna do. They did it anyway, I did the consequence, and then they had the gall to actually call me out for, oh, I thought he was a friend. Which I talked to you like twice. Sure, I was quite nice at the moment, but then again, most VTuber streams rules include the fact to be nice. I had no other choice. If I'm mean, I'm gonna get timed out. Or banned. Like how 90% of the VTubers I've met lately do. So of course I had no other choice but to be nice. I had no other choice but to put on a face that I'm nice, I'm here to support you, because otherwise I don't get to enjoy chatting with you. And then you are expecting that I'm fucking two-faced. You set the rules, you do not allow me to have anything else, and then you are wondering if I turn out to be I don't turn out to be the thing you expected me to.
Like message me things that weren't just, hey, can you help me with this? It was like a, how are you doing today, Myra? You know, oh, she actually cares about me. Okay, now we're friends. Okay, that's how it is. I mean, listen, I'm a cat girl. Do you really think I own everything, Abby? I'm sorry.
I wonder how long this friendship is gonna last.
Abby, it's not like that anymore.
Yay, besties for life.
But
Give it a year.
that's how I could tell, right? Because sometimes I get people who only want to talk to me when they want something. And that's how, like, I'm like, well, it kind of feels like, no one's my friend. It just feels like I'm just a coworker or an acquaintance.
Yeah.
And with Abby, it's like she actually asked me how my day is, and she actually like talked to me about
Well,
how she's doing and stuff. And that's like what actual friends do, like actual friends.
that's a little bit on a dodgy topic, but it isn't inherently bad if someone just looks at you as an acquaintance.
That's how I look at it.
Yeah, no, exactly. Exactly. And that's the thing, right? A lot of the time we have a hard time like recognizing when we have friends, like that when friends are until like okay, not that we have a hard time recognizing it. It's more like we have a hard time opening up to others until someone else opens up to us in a sense, right? And until you open up to someone else and be vulnerable, it can be hard to create meaningful connections because someone's only going to be getting the surface level of you. And that's what's kind of like this question. It's like saying, do I change myself? You don't have, like with real friends, you shouldn't have to change yourself. You should be the most authentic version of you. And when you try to make yourself into someone to please someone else, you start to create this persona, and you have to live up to this persona of you. And doing that makes you doubt yourself even more and be like, I'm not enough for this person, like I need to be fake, like this fake person, and I don't really have any real friendships because nobody knows the real me. But how is anyone going to know the real you unless you let that real you out? And then how is anyone going to like you if they don't know who you are?
Yeah, once again, let me reiterate. Between two actual human beings, yes, that is true. Like, that's why they say you've gotta be yourself. You've gotta be yourself. But VTubing is just not the way to go about this, because you are inherently looking at something fake. Just because... And why is it a problem that the personality behind it is also fake? Like, I seriously don't get people's obsession with, oh, I want authentic people. No, you want a multifaceted people. It doesn't have to be real, as long as it looks like it's not just a one-note character. That's what you are actually looking for. Not authenticity, multifaceted, realistic sounding person.
Be, you know what I mean?
As a tangible like action you could do, I've had people suggest to me that if you ask someone for a favor, because often you think of like if I do something for someone they'll like me, but there's something to, and maybe it's okay if you don't know about the specific thing or you can't speak to that, but just out of curiosity, like is asking someone for a favor as your first interaction not all you do to them like a nice way to get them to like you think, or do you have like a nice first action that you can do to like showcase who you are, you know what I mean, and like maybe a more vulnerable side of you? Does that
I have
make
an answer.
I do
Mhm.
something like that. But I don't
So
know
it's
if
gonna be about
it's
morals.
But I like to play this game with people. I call it the trust game. And what I like to do is, and this is how I can find out if I can
Fall
trust
back into
someone.
people's arms.
And you're more than welcome to try this with people. I feel like so I do this thing where I will tell someone a certain piece of information about myself, and I will see. I change kind of like the I guess the drama meter of it. So say like maybe maybe I'll tell someone how I have like this white shirt that I like got a little stain on. But what if I told them like instead of spilling a little bit of food, what if I told them like, "Oh my gosh, I literally just spilled like a whole like glass of like wine and then like I have like this entire stained shirt." I kind of like do things like that to see if that kind of like weirdness will get spread out to other people. And that tells me who said what about me. So I
Oh.
do selective information. And if I don't hear anything,
Hmm.
that's how I know I can trust someone. And then I'm like, okay. So I don't tell everyone everything. So Abs already passed the test. So don't worry, Abs. Yeah.
Not sure if that's a good idea.
Honey's like, I don't know how to
Kind of dig into
that.
Marty's statement there. Marty, I love you, but I don't know if that's a healthy thing to do.
Yeah, I
Because
agree with Abby on this one.
I don't feel like I can trust people, and like because I'm like that, and that's why like I do feel alone all the time because I don't know why I do that. It's just something that like I guess I choose to isolate myself from people, so I don't like it's not the best thing to do because it does isolate you from a lot of people since you can't trust anybody.
being it's hard to be vulnerable though. I think that's a big thing, right?
Is that in the video?
It takes a lot more
That
strength
noise?
than people like realize to be vulnerable, especially depending on what you've gone through in life, right? Vulnerability can be scary, especially if you've had situations where you told someone something very personal and vulnerable and they use that against you, right? It can be hard to
Yeah.
trust other people, and it can be hard to know when relationships you can trust someone in a relationship because
Yeah.
you are scared of what had happened might come back and hurt you. And so it's not like you're not doing anything wrong. You're doing what is you've learned to that you need to do to survive.
Yeah, it still feels lonely though. I wish I like could trust people a bit more, but like as you said, honey, sometimes it's like you want to trust people and I think it's like an internet. Actually, no, I don't know if like the internet makes it more like that or if like people like you see at school or something or at work are also kind of like that too. I guess it's like a people thing, right?
I think it's also like being a VTuber in itself, right? Is so hard to trust people because we're all about on an anonymity.
Exactly. That's why you shouldn't turn to VTubing to find friends.
Anonymity, and
Yeah.
and when you open up to someone, that is really hard because they could use that information against you and hurt you with it. So I feel like in the VTuber community, it's a lot better to be safe in that way because you're genuinely protecting yourself, right?
Yeah.
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 Yeah. I love how you're validating our mechanism.
She loves how you're valid.
Of course, because she's not allowed to do anything else. Considering that you guys do not allow any different than circle jerking. So, and of course, considering that You guys are all about those, oh, I support everyone, oh, I'm so caring. Like, unless you want to look like a rude asshole and be kicked out of everywhere like I do, then what other choice do you have?
They have a messed up tendency.
No, it's good. I think it's like, I respect you for dealing with the cards that have been handled to you, honey, instead of being don't do. Well, it's cool. I feel like it's a very good sign of your expertise. We do have more questions. Oh crap!
What expertise? She said she's not a professional.
Mother of God. Sorry, I have a weird toggle.
Abby?
Sorry. I just have
It's the
cold.
stupid.
How do you make friends when you don't have the time and or money to go out much? Well, usually joining some sort of online community that you share a common interest with is a good start. Though then again, that kind of implies you don't really have much time, so yeah. In that case, you might wanna make time if it bothers you that much. Like, there's surely gotta be something you can do.
Stupid magic. It's reversing.
I got cold, and my magic just toggled. And I want to be closer to Marisa. But how do you make friends when you don't have the time and or money to go out much? So sometimes you have busier seasons, and how do you stay in touch with people? Yeah, like what are your recommendations? Sometimes friends go out for expensive places, you just can't afford it. Like, conventions is when VTubers meet, friends meet, but sometimes you just can't. So how do you have tips on how to get around that?
I feel like your friends, if they're really your friends, they would understand if you can't go to things and wouldn't want and wouldn't like make you feel bad, right? They wouldn't be like, "Wow, you can't go. I guess you're not really my real friend." Like, of
I
course,
mean, yeah, that is a dick move.
you can't avoid FOMO. I feel FOMO when I see things like when people are having fun at conventions and I'm not there. I'm like, oh, that sucks. I wish I could be there. But real friends won't make you feel like you're less of their friend if you don't go somewhere. And then another thing about the not talking about all the time, I feel like that's something that's very relatable for me, anyways, because I have ADHD, and because object permanence. If someone's not there, I forget they exist. So I have a really hard time with maintaining friendships a lot. Not maintaining friendships, nurturing my friendships. Because I think of friendships and relationships like a plant, right? And the more time you put into that plant, the more you water and care for that plant, the bigger the plant gets. Now, the thing is, with ADHD, it's important to have friendships that don't die like a plant when you walk away from them. It should be like not a fake plant, maybe like a cactus. You should be able to come back, and the plant should be the same as it was at the beginning when you weren't talking, right? I feel like for people with ADHD, that is the best type of friendships you can have. That being said,
That's a little bit too specific considering that
understands that
less people have ADHD
who are don't have
than those who do. Or,
they don't
wait.
really understand that type of friendship.
So less people have ADHD than those who don't.
And then you feel like you're being a bad friend, and that reflects badly on you, and you feel guilty and ashamed. But it's very important to remember that you're not doing that intentionally. It's just.
I have a question on that. Like, it's like some.
And that wasn't exactly answering the question.
Friends have way more free time and resources than you do. So, like they're traveling together, things like that, and they're going through emotional experiences that form that intense bond. So it's like in those cases, because I think when you're just thinking of a one-one relationship.
Why exactly are they talking about nurturing friendships when the question is literally how do you make friends? So, like, you don't even have the desired amount of friends in the first place. Should I skip this entire thing because it seems like they are not exactly doing anything constructive this time.
Where you take a break. Like they should
And
take
with my constant stopping, it's gonna take a while
like a friend context
to actually complete the stream, so
in like a VTuber group and they're all doing these things together all the time. They're playing League till midnight and you just can't because I don't know, you have a child. Like how do you get away from that comparison of they're getting closer? Can they still be close to me while they're getting closer to each other? How do you escape that?
I mean, there's always a babysitter in that specific scenario.
How do you like feel part of the group when you're just less part of the group, kind of?
Sorry, I'm just thinking. That's a really good question, right? Because it is something I go through as well. Um, I work a full-time job. I do dog walking on top of that for other people's dogs, and I also stream. So it is I can relate with that type of feeling because there's a lot of times where people are doing things and I can't be involved, and I feel that everybody's creating better, deeper connections.
Again, if you really don't have the time, then you gotta do something else. Like, you work a day job, breaking out dogs, streaming. One of those things have to go. If you are really that bothered by making friends and maintaining them.
Than me, I'm gonna be left out. I'm not gonna be able to be there. Like everybody's gonna have all these inside jokes, and I'm gonna go back, and I'm not gonna be able to be involved in that. And it's kind of I need to think about that question because it is something that I have also dealt with, and I've dealt with it in a sense by it's hard because it's also something of ADHD as well. Again, it wraps back into that because
I mean, I don't know how that much complicates things, but
feel that like FOMO a lot stronger a lot of the times, and it's hard watching people go on and do stuff, and you can't be involved in that because of your limited resources. I think it's about making other connections as well or reaching out to them not when you're just feeling lonely for yourself, like creating connections and trying to be there when they need you as well, and listening to them, like remembering special dates and checking in and ask it for like follow-ups, like if they all did something, like message them at the morning after and be like, hey, how did it go last night? What'd you guys do? Oh, that sounds really fun. And then trying to make plans when it works for you as well, and trying to be as involved as you can without jeopardizing your own mental health. Because at the end of the day, you need to take care of yourself as well. And if you can't afford to go on trips,
but yeah, in a sense, taking care of yourself includes socializing, so I'm not exactly sure where you're going with this. Like, we are social creatures, so socializing is part of taking care of our mental health.
if you can't afford to, like, if you don't have time to hang out with them, it's not worth the stress. I know it's hard to say this, and when like you still do it, but it's not worth the stress.
How long is this gonna go on?
Feeling left out. If that kind of makes sense.
What do you mean by
Jesus, 6 more minutes.
constantly being left out? So it's like you mean like you should the stress of stretching yourself even thinner will pay off because you won't spend time sad. Could you clarify that?
I think it means like if you're stretching yourself thin and you're feeling awful about it, and that's the only way you can feel like you belong in that group, then that might not be the best group for you. In a sense, if you feel like you're always the one to go above and beyond for these people, and they're not willing to like try and make time for you.
Okay, they are seriously going off topic now. Because again, this is again about nurturing, not making friendships. One more sentence and I'm skipping ahead to the next one.
In a sense,
I see what you mean.
With- yeah. But with the trips, it's hard, right?
I mean, if you want to give advice, then you kind of have to be more specific, because now you're just going on pointless rants that has nothing to do with the original question, and we don't even know if he's like already stretching himself. I mean, okay, to be fair, the question kind of implies that he's stretching himself in, but like if you are going above and beyond, then technically you do have the time to go out and maintain your friendships. It's just when it's not working out that it's not that much that you can do. So the best you can do is just try to manage the time when you are all available.
Because it's not like a limited of a time. It's more of a
But again, that's off topic, because we don't know if that is the case.
It's tough, but yeah, I feel like the general feedback is, I guess I'm gonna summarize it. It's like assess your friend group, go out of your way to do things that are not so time consuming or money consuming, like checking in with them, asking how a thing that they did without you went, looking at the pictures.
Again, how do you make, not how do you maintain?
Enjoying it even though you weren't there. And is there any third conclusion?
It's not just like enjoying. It's like being happy for them and being as involved as you can. Because even though
Okay, I'm skipping.
doesn't mean that like
They are not doing anything constructive in terms of the question.
Or feeling sad. Brain empty.
Next question.
Next question.
Yes.
Hey, that's what.
No, the super toggle every single time, man. I thought
Abby's
I fixed it.
Abby's
I would like to know what are your takes on having more web friends than IRL friends. Is it better to just spend more time online and
Okay.
then find more
I
easy?
want to know what your takes are on having more web friends and IRL friends, which is very interesting because we're giving a lot of advice that applies to that. But is there a problem with it? Is it a bad thing for wanting to spend more time online rather than hanging out with the boys? I like the wording. Is it just
The boys.
The boys? Is it just that I find more ease in having topics to talk with my online friends due to being in the same bubble as them, while the guys I know IRL are in another phase of their lives? I think it's pretty interesting. I grew up in an area of Brazil where there were no people who were like me. So I very much can relate to this question.
Honestly, that is an interesting question.
I think it is
They don't know I'm a
interesting.
VTuber.
Oh, bitch, please, everyone knows. We are just not allowed to talk about it because, ooh, privacy. While you guys talk about your privacy like it's our fucking business.
For extended periods of time, you get exponentially more vulnerable. But if you're gaming together all the time rather than on Discord, I feel like those are three different things. Online friends that you talk to, online friends that you game with, and IRL friends. Three different categories. If you're just gaming, sometimes you don't actually have the opportunity to talk and make those connections that you might need. So yeah, what are your takes on game friends online that you game with, friends online that you talk to, and IRL friends? And is there a more beneficial one for people? Should there be a balance? Bless you.
Thank you.
I think that I had read this question and prepped for the first two. I did not think about gaming friends. So gaming friends might not be left out of my answer a little bit, but
that's okay.
I think that having in this situation, I think it's good to have I like online friends. I'm in the same boat as you, Abby. I come from rural Canada, so all the people
Why is it important to know that you are from rural Canada?
around me are like very redneck
You could be from Djibouti for all I care, it wouldn't make a difference.
and don't watch anime, don't know anything about like the online world. And so it can be hard to make connections and with other people, and especially since a lot of the people in my age are having kids or getting married or like getting promotions in giant, like really fancy business jobs, and I'm just kind of here existing. And so and wanting to be a gremlin on the internet. And
And these kinds of people that want to do VTubing because they are just trying to be themselves instead of taking seriously the acting part.
And so it could be kind of hard in that sense to be able to feel like you can have
I know it's not as easy, but maybe try to keep up with them.
in when you're IRL friends, and it can feel a lot easier to have conversations with online friends because they're in your bubble and your social circle, right? I think that that is great. If you feel like, for me, especially, I've always felt weird and awkward because of my ADHD, but online, I feel really accepted. And especially since almost all the people I know online also have ADHD, I feel very understood and not as, I feel like kind of semi normal in a sense. Um, but I also think that having my IRL friends can create, so having just being in your social circle can create this kind of echo chamber
Like what you guys are doing right now.
where people that go against the norms can be excluded and shamed, right? So if you're in
Tell me about it.
constantly just in that online, your social circle online, like let's say just like the VTuber community, for instance, you're constantly in the VTuber community, it can create this extreme type of person, this extreme personality in a sense, not really personality, but like views and opinions. But having that other balance of also having IRL friends who are in another area of their lives creates like lessons that echo chamber, and also allows you to see other perspectives and understand what other people go through and what other people believe in stuff. So although that you may not feel as comfortable with in-person friends, I feel like they're also very important and help you.
I mean, after all, the thing is that if you consider those IRL people your friends, then there at least some point was something that you guys found common. So maybe you guys could refresh that thing and make it about have some sort of tradition that like hanging out about something common in once in a while. And well, keeping up with their phases of lives, it isn't exactly a bad thing, at least in my opinion.
Stay grounded.
Yeah, that's a good way to
Good
phrase
answer.
it.
So yeah, just like it said, different mindsets, different viewpoints, it's not exactly a bad thing.
What I do is I like to be involved in different communities because I kind of like to get the perspective and opinions from outside communities because, we've seen time and time again, especially.
You timing me out isn't exactly proving of that fact. Because guess what? Not everyone is going to be nice. I don't like being an asshole, but at this point I dislike being more that about having to accept everything and force fed this garbage.
In the VTubing community, where there are outside parties who don't know anything about us at all, who will somehow catch wind of us, and then they'll just start memeing and clowning on us. And it's like,
Oh,
I'm
Lord.
already involved in those communities, so I already know how they feel about a lot of stuff. So it's very interesting to like see how different online communities kind of like interact and mingle with each other compared to like IRL. I mean, it's like going to high school and seeing like the popular kids and then the nerdy kids and then like the athletes and stuff, right? Just all start talking about.
Why are you guys making it like that? I mean, okay, to be fair, outside of VTubing that is still technically the case, but unfortunately it's also becoming like that within the VTuber community itself.
About like a video game together, like this one video game they all happen to really like. That's kind of how I would visualize in real life, right? Because that'd be kind of weird, right? It'd be something to see. So when I see it online, it's like, I think you're right. Trying to involve yourself with other communities and having IRL friends is a really great way to just ground yourself, like what you were saying, and have different perspectives.
Yeah, I because if you're constantly just in the VTuber community, there are different norms in different areas of the internet. Like some things are super shamed in the VTuber community, and it's like a total sin if you do it. But literally, still in the streaming community, but just in the IRL streaming community, is completely normal.
Obviously. After all, VTubing and streaming wasn't supposed to be similar. They were two different things, otherwise there would be no point in calling it something different. The fact that you guys are trying to bastardize this isn't changing that.
So completely like isolating yourself to only the VTuber community, and then if someone does something that is more normalized in the facecam streamer community, everybody could ostracize that person and push that person out for being wrong or different. Like,
too bad that thing is actually the accepted majority part, because, again, let me iterate one more time. VTubing is about playing a character. The avatar was supposed to enhance that. Now you people came along, said, no, playing a character for long periods of time is too much work, I just want to be myself. So I'm gonna silence anyone who says that I shouldn't be here, because I do whatever I want. And now you guys have overrun. And now my world is full with lost, like you. And I was supposed to be nothing more than be quiet and leave. No. Bitch and cry all you want, that's not going to change.
bad, but if you know more about other types of areas of streaming, or just in general, it can be people can be less isolated in a sense, and
Yeah, I agree.
understand.
You just have like you have that's something I say like I'm very well what do you call it? I'm very well immersed in like the American world essentially, like the way the United States like functions, right? But I'm also not from here, and most people I've grown up with are from distinct areas of the world. So it's just like it's like a little tweak of like when you just know more, you just have a little bit of a more nuance when you approach any topic, so you're a little less hurt, you're a little less inflammatory. It just keeps you a little less extremist on any end, not just politically, but just on any given topic.
Yeah, yeah. I feel like me and not Mari. Actually, I don't know Mari. Abby.
I don't know,
I don't know where you're from. I don't know where you're from. I'm sorry.
Why is that a thing? Why does that matter?
You don't know.
No one knows.
And that's for the better.
So actually, Mari, you could relate with this then. That I feel like with American culture, as all of us are not from America, because Mari's from Dream.
Oh yeah, true.
I'm from Dreamica.
Yeah, Dreamica. You're from Dreamica.
Oh. Hello, Adriano.
A lot of Americans tend to think that they're the only culture, and that their culture is normal. And it's not. They don't think that they have a culture. They think it's just the normal standard. But that's not true.
Hold on.
American culture is
I
culture.
got a little bit lost there.
The game of point out the American.
I don't know where you're from. I don't know where you're from. I'm sorry.
No, it's okay. It's okay.
You don't know.
No one knows.
The sky, the dreams. So actually, Mari, you could relate with this then. That I feel like with American culture, as all of us are not from America, because Mari's from Dream.
Oh yeah, true.
I'm from Dreamica.
Yeah, Dreamica. You're from Dreamica. A lot of Americans tend to think that they're the only culture, and that their culture is normal. And it's not. They don't think that they have a culture. They think it's just the normal standard. But that's not.
Yeah, they are trying to... Yeah, it is quite a lot of thing for about Americans to trying to push their values onto everyone else. After all, that's why we have censorship, so... And that's why on the inside there's pretty much no one that actually cares about playing a character. I'm in the minority, I should just shut up and leave.
American culture is culture.
I like to play the game of point out the American online, where I like to look at comments on X and see like how people respond, and I can always pick out the Americans. You can just tell.
They got that as
Yeah, I wonder.
vibe, you know?
They do, yeah, they do.
And sometimes, you know, I think there's a problem in every culture. I'm catering to American people.
Oh, why do you guys wear shoes and like
Yeah,
why?
Oh, okay, that's what
No, but I feel like once you start realizing that there are other things out there, it makes you more open to other experiences and open to other people.
Yeah, it pretty much does. Too bad that what you guys brought in isn't exactly made things better.
Yeah, and you can be that, yeah, wherever you're from, just knowing a little bit. And if you're in this space, you probably are pretty. And also on my stream where I constantly talk about other cultures, and like if you're a fan of any of us three or a part of our communities, you're probably one of the good Americans. I'm sorry, I'm trying. Why am I
It's not
defending
even so
America
much
when
as
you
like
would
a
never
good
defend
American.
me?
I think it comes to like the individuality where like I think something that a lot of Americans are plagued with is main character syndrome, and I feel like if you're going to be a main character, just understand that your support characters are important, and it is
Yeah.
important to like at least care about them because no one's going to care about you if you don't care about them.
That is actually very true. But also don't forget that while you are the main character of your own story, you're also going to be the side character of someone else's and the villain of someone else's. And that's what most people, and that last one is the one that most VTubers are actually afraid to do. Because they are so desperate to prove themselves that, oh, they are so accepting and oh, they invite all sorts of people and they just want to spread happiness. No, not so much. You just want your own echo chamber. I mean, I would talk to them live if they didn't kick me out, so I wasn't exactly left in my choice but to do it like this.
So
You
that's just
you brought up a really amazing point, Mari, and you used an amazing word, individuality. So, have you guys heard of individualistic cultures versus collectivist cultures?
Yeah, yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So, you guys want to like explain what it is, for everyone?
I would love it if you did it so we don't say it correctly.
Okay, that's fine. I just.
You don't want to get
Just say it.
Yes, teacher.
So individualistic cultures are more like Western cultures, like America, Canada, England, like those types of countries. Individualist cultures are. See, this is why I asked you. It's about them, yeah. It's about you. Okay, so this is the best example. Okay, and then collectivist cultures are like India, Japan, most parts of Asia. Those are collectivist cultures. Also, indigenous people who were from like the indigenous people of America, they
Native
collectivist
Americans.
cultures.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure
Oh, yeah.
Mexico is a collectivist culture. Not
It's
sure
about society, right?
Eh?
It's like what you do affects society versus like individualism is like what you do affects just you.
Yes, exactly. So my best way of explaining this is, let's say your like aunt got fired from a job because she stole hundreds of dollars, like millions of dollars. So and she's just your aunt on like she's just a in aunt, or she like is biologically related. Now on the individualistic side, you don't really it does not impact you as much. You feel a little bit like that's kind of not great. I feel like that's awful that she did that, but it's not impacted or reflected upon you. Now, in collectivist cultures, if your aunt did that, that's reflected on the entire family.
Oh, I see. Yeah, Brazil's
Yeah.
pretty collective.
Yeah. Okay. So your mistake reflects your entire family. So now.
Oh, right, by the way,
again,
we changed
it sounds like
question.
collectivist cultures are bad. Collectivist cultures are not bad. Collectivist cultures are more. So if you're late for something, a collectivist culture is more likely to think, oh, something must have happened to you. While individualistic cultures are more likely to ascribe.
Unfortunately, this is one question I have
Like this
no
is lazy.
even semi-reliable insight on.
Because like I've always thought of it kind of surface level, where it's like a, oh,
I probably should be skipping this ahead too,
versus I want us to be special. I want people to know.
considering that I won't be able to
It is like a carrot, like a
actually
personality.
add too much to this.
Oh, something like
Oh,
must have happened. That's such a good way to put it.
holy hell, they talk about for this long.
Thinking about the collective and less about the individual. And so a lot of collectivist cultures are more likely to care more.
Alright, let's skip ahead a bit.
It should just protect yourself. So if they want to continue to talk about that, great, they can, but you're going to take yourself out of that situation.
Yeah, that's an excellent way for like that question, and yeah, you're really good at this, honey.
Again with the empty flattery.
This is a more romantic question, but I don't know if you want to address this one. We just had you ask someone out if you're scared of losing a friendship. This is more about
Honestly, about this, I kind of have a theory of my own. But basically, the long and short of it is that you do need courage for that. So there's kind of no real good thing apart from biting the bullet and asking them out.
romantic loneliness rather than necessarily friendship loneliness. Do we want to talk about it now, or do we want to maybe leave it for a romance segment?
Do we have a romance segment?
We could.
We could do a romance segment. This could be friendship. We can have so much Riz.
I need it.
Okay.
I really like this one question because I think at any point in your life you feel like you're getting old. So I think this can relate to any age group really. But I'm soon to be 30 and I worry that I'm getting to the point that I'll be too old to form a meaningful friendship at all anymore. I just always feel self-conscious or like I'm more bothersome than anyone else. And
Honestly, as someone who's 25, so I'm technically halfway there. It's technically never too late, so you just gotta work up the courage. Unfortunately, there's... So, if you're asking for advice, the same still goes. Go outside, try to meet new people. Probably would be easier if you try to pick anything that actually works in a setting. So like you have a common interest or anything like that. Otherwise, you've gotta try. Like basically the details are changing from culture to culture, but at the end of the day, it's you gotta try.
yeah, as a person who grew up with two parents who are each other's best friends, but they don't have friends outside of each other, I saw it, I was like, just the giving up on it and accepting that that's just not a part of life you'll have. But what are your thoughts on making friendships as you age and age and friendship?
I don't think it's impossible to make friends. Actually, I know it's not impossible to make friends when you're older. I know that. I think the thing is it's harder to make friends when you're older. The thing that you need to make friends with someone before you could just like force friendship on someone is
you need to
common interest or something that you're doing together that's common, or you need to be
that, and also somewhat open-mindedness, considering that the people you meet are most likely not gonna be exactly like you, so there will be some culture clash. Well, okay, not necessarily culture clash, but personal clashes, considering from conflicting interests. So you gotta be able to be open-minded and accept difference, like significant difference.
what's the other one? You need to see each other regularly, right? You can't just go and be like, you're my friend now. You have to like see that person a few times.
Although I'm starting to get the feeling that
aren't planned
like
to make friends.
Okay, that this is talked about by VTubers, but I thought that the questions were about related to VTubing community, but this is just a general loneliness thing, so honestly, the title is starting to be a bit misleading to me. So I thought that it would be a little bit more specific, but it is rather extremely vague. I wonder if I should even do the rest, because I'm actually gonna skip a bit and just check the questions that they are answering, just in case. So it's 1 hour 9 minutes. Let's see, what else do they answer? Phew, that's a long one. I am not in front of no plan, I'm just going to and when I reach I don't get any replies, I'm just going to read them best friend occasionally. Maybe it's called a message and I'm at the touch friend, I find me being a botch, but I can only see friends with but this is again, this is about IRL loneliness, not exactly in the context of in the VTubing community, so the title is starting to be a little bit misleading. Okay, next. The heck is that?
I joined a new community church Discord, and it seems like no one likes me. What do I do? Oh, I closed the poll? Nope, I'm opening the poll. Hi, here's the poll. It's open. sorry. You can vote now. We're voting 1, 2.
Okay, that's an interesting vote.
3 or 4. And what do you think? If I join a new community church Discord and it seems like no one likes me, what do I do? You can look at the answers and tell us what you think chat will pick and what you think is the best answer, if any.
Oh no, it's gonna tell me.
I mean, I would honestly go for just option 1, so
Did you not?
because it seems that community isn't exactly for you, so
If you want to vote in the poll chat, just like how I did in
I mean, you can practice what the community is about without having to necessarily interact with them, so
Oh, I did it wrong.
I think Maury sent me the questions, so I think I'm okay. I'll just
Okay.
scroll up.
Okay, they're in order.
Yeah. Okay, good. Awesome.
So if I joined a new community church Discord and it seems like no one likes
what exactly do people get about?
tell the mods you're leaving me because no one likes you. 2, complain about it on Twitter. 3, go around
Okay, at least there's someone with some sort of common sense.
someone notices
And I'm putting common sense in quote marks because technically there is no such thing as common sense.
to troll them.
kind of like to add them like
I mean, I don't really get how exactly going around asking everyone for their social is gonna help them if they've already made it a point that they don't like you. Oh boy. Anyway, I was about to check the other questions, so that's... Wait, that was it? Oh, great, then the rest is a waste of my time, I suppose. Oh, boy. So yet again, this is people trying to take about issue that they are not exactly qualified for think about, and it's just rant about their own little echo chamber about random things that doesn't even pertain to this. Great. Good thing to know that I didn't exactly miss much. What do you guys think? Do you think I should try to finish the rest? Because this seems like a waste of time to me. Oh, we have a couple new people. That's interesting. Yeah, I know, I'm not exactly too helpful here. Young Noriske. But then again, neither are they, so... I suppose that's not much better. Oh boy. What to do, what to do. Honestly, considering that this is pissing me off more than anything, I probably shouldn't exactly be watching this, especially since the rest seems a waste of time, as I said. I suppose I'll go back a little bit and maybe watch a couple more minutes just to be sure that it is not interesting.
Plan just to make friends. And you also have to have a common interest. But for instance, Abby, I met you in the internet sphere a few times prior to us becoming friends. And I met you, and we talked, and we had a common interest, which is VTubing. I don't know how you and Mari met. If you wanna,
So about that, so remember earlier when Abby first met me and stuff, and she's like, "Yeah, we're friends," and then I just like put her down by saying, "Yeah, we weren't friends just yet," until after she asked me how I met you, and I was like, "Now we're friends." So Abby and I like SpongeBob.
We have a
Wow.
lot in common. I would say both of
We
you.
do actually.
Our whole ambition, and YouTubing too, but our whole goals, just like our life is just so in alignment. I was a Mari fan before I debuted.
No, but
we're
Abby
also
and I
friends.
have a lot in common. Like we really do, and that's why I can like say like I said
Boy.
earlier. And like I know Abby's not gonna get upset, and if she did, she's just gonna slap me around. Like it's not a big deal. A water bottle spray, you know. But I think it's kind of like a vibe thing. Sometimes you just talk to someone and you can just click with them, and like it doesn't have to be through person either, right? Like I don't know. I just really clicked well with Abby. Like when I first saw her debut, I don't know, like I really vibed with her a lot. So it was like it's definitely one of those things where like a friend will introduce you to someone else and you two will just kind of click a lot better than like the friend that introduced you
I
to
hate
them.
that. I'm always that friend who's introducing them. Yeah.
Well, that's kind of what happened with me and Abby, except it was my manager. So I don't feel that bad.
Love your manager. We're gonna do that.
Oh, thank God, at least.
But it can also
Would have been worse if she thought of her manager as her friend too.
make friends because you already have that interest and you see those people on your timeline and you run into them in the same spheres and stuff, that it could be easier to make friends with those people. And so in a sense, VTubing has helped, but with other people who are just in their day-to-day life, it could be harder to make friends because especially if you're just going to work, coming home, playing
Why are they about this again? Although then again, considering that we are not talking face to face, I'm just reacting to this video, I suppose they are gonna bring this up a couple of times. Seriously. Okay, I see that there's nothing useful inside to be gained from this, at least in the context of VTubing, actually. Alright. I suppose I won't be exactly wasting you guys' time with this anymore. To be fair, I should have a little bit better time. After all, tomorrow I'm gonna have to do patrols again. So, and after all, I still have quite a lot of things to do. So I think I'm actually going to stop doing this for today. Well, anyone who turned up to the stream, thank you for coming. I suppose at this point I might as well time for me to leave, actually. Well, see you guys next time, I guess.